Now, we're going to get into the pre-draft 30 visits that the Raiders have had so far. There are 12 of them, but again, if you guys like the show, please like Oakland Raiders by Chat Sports on Facebook so you know exactly when I go live. And don't be afraid to give me a follow on Twitter at MitchellRens365. It would definitely be appreciated. But now, let's get into those top 12, or I guess the pre-draft picks. Let's get into those right now. First guy coming up, Wisconsin fullback Ostman Ramesh. So this guy is kind of a fun guy, and he's what I like to consider your typical Gruden grinder. At 6'1", 255-pound fullback, fits the bill. A tough yet athletic guy who will give it his all. Ramesh had an impressive pro day at Wisconsin, running a 4.78 40-yard dash and putting up 24 reps on the bench press. Ramesh played 4 years at Wisconsin, helping one of the best run games in the country every single year. Next guy coming up, Malik Reaves out of Villanova. The 6', 200-pound defensive back was at a 4-year starter at Villanova. He was named All-Conference in his sophomore and senior season, and in between played through a meniscus tear as a junior while not missing a single game. A tweaked hamstring had him just start 9 games as a senior, but he still put up decent numbers with 60 tackles, 2 interceptions, and 8 passes defended. The next guy, David Goldsby. This is, I think, one of the most cool stories, and if anybody has time, please look up this guy's story. It's unbelievable. The 6'4", 314-pounder went to a basketball school in St. Louis, Missouri, where he played only basketball until his junior season. His journey is very similar to that of former Raiders second-round pick Malik Watson, a former basketball player who picked up football late within a couple years, and he was a starting right tackle at a Division I school. He attended Ellsworth Community College in Iowa, and after redshirting a year, Goldsby took over as the starting right tackle spot. And in just 1 year at the position, he was named Junior College Second-Team All-American. Buffalo then decided to recruit him and make him into a right tackle. Goldsby transition from tackle to guard and back to tackle is of interest to the Raiders, as he has a high football IQ and physical strength. Both areas he takes a great deal of pride in, and I know Gruden does as well. The next draft visit I got for you, Joe Ostman, defensive end out of Central Michigan. This dude actually can also play some fullback, which I think is pretty cool. From the snap, Ostman never stops movement. As a result, he is able to put linemen on their heels with a mix of power and hand fighting. Despite weighing only 250 pounds, Ostman generates force that stands up blockers, rendering them useless during the play. If you have watched Reggie McKenzie's draft, you know that he loves taking chances on small school pass rushers. This guy would give the Raiders 110% effort on every play, and if you know anything about Gruden, he loves these kind of guys. Next guy, cornerback Tremon Smith out of Central Arkansas. Smith is 6 foot corner who puts together an impressive collegiate career. Over his 4 years with Central Arkansas, he tallied 146 tackles, 53 passes defense, 15 interceptions, 9 tackles for a loss, and a punt return for a touchdown. He was named a 2-time All-Southland Conference first-team defensive back in 2015 and 2016, while being named All-Southland Conference honorable mention punt returner in 2016. Next guy coming up, Chandon Sullivan. Sullivan's success in 4 years on the field and in the classroom at Georgia State earned him one of the most prestigious finalist spots for the William V. Campbell Trophy, otherwise known as the Academic Heisman Trophy. He was a third-team All-Sun Belt pick in 2017 as a 12-game starter, helping his team achieve the team's first bowl win by posting 46 tackles, intercepting 1 pass, and having 5 pass breakups. Next guy, Ed Shockley, linebacker, Villanova. Shockley is not on many draft boards at the moment, with this projecting him to go undrafted. He played extremely well in the NFL PA Bowl, however, which has raised some of his profile, but yet still might not get him into the draft. Shockley is undersized linebacker at 5'11", 235 pounds. He's been called an instinctual linebacker, which is good with good sideline-to-sideline speed, and another guy who I think is a typical Gruden grinder. Next guy coming up, P.J. Hall, defensive lineman from Sam Houston State. Despite weighing about 300 pounds and being generously listed at 6'1", Patrick Hall Jr., who goes by PJ, played as an outside rusher earlier in his career because of his quickness. The 2-time first-team Associated Press FCS All-American played defensive tackle as a senior, however, garnering first-team All-Southland Conference honors by racking up 60 tackles, 19 for a loss, 6 sacks, 6 pass breakups, and tying for the FCS lead with 4 blocked kicks. Listen to these stats, right? In 4 years, 284 tackles, 68.5 tackles for a loss, 42 sacks, 9 forced fumbles, 4 interceptions, and 14 blocked kicks in 56 games. That's insane. He is projected to be a 3rd or 4th round pick in the NFL draft. To me, this is a guy who I think I could definitely see the Raiders going after. Next guy, Jaire Alexander, cornerback, Louisville. Alexander missed about half of the 2017 season with a leg and hand injuries, but managed to start 6 of 7 games played on the year. He recorded 19 tackles, 1 interception, and 4 pass breakups, and was named honorable mention All-ACC. He was much better in 2016, intercepting 5 passes, breaking up 9 others in 13 starts to garner second-team All-ACC honors. He is projected to be a first- or second-round pick in the NFL draft. Next guy coming up, Frankie Luvu. Luvu became a starter during his junior year with the Cougars, tallied 94 tackles and 19 for a loss, and 8 sacks, 2 interceptions, and a forced fumble over his final 2 collegiate seasons. He was an ace special teams player during his first 2 seasons with the team as well. His 40-yard dash time is listed at 4.84 seconds, while putting out that he's also 6'2", 235 pounds. He'll more than likely wind up as a mid to late round pick in the draft. Next guy coming up, Chad Thomas, defensive end from Miami. His breakout season came as a junior when Thomas started 12 games, made 37 tackles, 11 of which went for losses. He also had 4.5 sacks and used his height and long arms to break up 3 passes. Thomas started all 13 games for the Canes in 2017, posting 41 stops, 12.5 tackles for a loss, and 5.5 sacks. He can also play 9 different instruments, but that isn't why he's projected to be a draft pick in rounds 2 or 3. His multidimensional talent is. Last guy, Dane Cruikshank. He redshirted the 2015 season in his first year at Tuscan after a successful 2-year stint at California Citrus College. He was a first-team All-State pick at Citrus as a sophomore, landing on the top 100 junior college prospect rankings after the season. Cruikshank started all 12 games for the Wildcats in 2016, tying for the team lead with 2 interceptions, along with 60 tackles and 7 pass breakups. He moved to the Spurs safety spot as a senior, starting all 13 games, posting 75 tackles, 5.5 for a loss, and 1.5 sacks. Cruikshank also intercepted 3 balls, deflected 5 others, while forcing 1 fumble. Raiders Nation, let's go through that one more time. See all those names. We got Austin Ramesh, Malik Reaves, David Goldsby, Joe Ostman. Next group, Tremon Smith, Chandon Sullivan, Ed Shockley, PJ Hall. And then the last bit of guys, Jaire Alexander, Frankie Luvu, Chad Thomas, and Dane Cruikshank. Raider Nation, thank you so much for tuning in to Raiders Report. My name is Mitchell Rentz. Please follow me on Twitter at MitchellRentz365. And until next time, go Raiders.